Imagine walking into a furniture store. You spend hours following a maze of perfectly designed rooms. You pick out a bookshelf, a table, maybe even a new bed. Then you carry heavy boxes to your car, drive them home, and spend your evening assembling everything yourself. At first glance, it sounds like terrible customer service. You're doing the shopping, you're doing the transportation, you're doing the assembly, and somehow you paid for the privilege. Yet millions of people do exactly this every single year, not because they have to, because they want to. This isn't an accident. It's one of the greatest business strategies ever created. Behind those blue and yellow buildings lies a company that transformed the way the world buys furniture, turned ordinary customers into unpaid workers, and quietly built one of the largest retail empires in history. Today, IKEA operates hundreds of stores across dozens of countries, welcomes hundreds of millions of visitors every year, and generates tens of billions of dollars in annual revenue. But IKEA's success was never really about furniture. It was about understanding human psychology better than anyone else. This is the incredible story of how one man from a small Swedish village built a global empire by making customers work for him and convincing them to love every second of it. The story begins in rural Sweden during the 1920s, long before giant warehouses and meatballs became famous around the world. A young boy named Ingvar Kamprad grew up on a small family farm called Elmtaryd, near the tiny village of Agunnaryd. Life wasn't easy. His family wasn't wealthy, and every coin mattered. While most children spent their days playing games, Ingvar was already thinking like a businessman. At just 5 years old, he began buying boxes of matches in bulk from Stockholm. Then he sold them individually to neighbors for a small profit. It wasn't about the matches. It was about discovering that buying cheaply and selling efficiently could create opportunity. Soon he expanded into anything people needed: pens, wallets, Christmas decorations, seeds, picture frames. If there was demand, Ingvar wanted to sell it. He wasn't chasing luxury. He was obsessed with value. That obsession would eventually change the furniture industry forever. In 1943, at only 17 years old, Ingvar officially founded a small mail-order business. He combined his initials, I and K, with the first letters of his family farm, Elmtaryd, and his home village, Agunnaryd. The result was a strange name that nobody could have imagined would someday become one of the world's most recognizable brands: IKEA. At first, the company didn't sell furniture at all. It sold everyday household items through a simple catalog. Customers placed orders by mail, and products were delivered at affordable prices. Business grew steadily. But then Ingvar noticed something interesting. Furniture was expensive. Traditional furniture stores displayed beautiful products inside elegant showrooms. Middlemen added markups. Transportation costs were high. Delivery was slow. Ordinary families often couldn't afford quality furniture. Ingvar saw an opportunity that everyone else had ignored. Instead of asking, "How can we make better furniture?" he asked, "How can we make good furniture so affordable that almost anyone can buy it?" That single question would become the foundation of an empire worth billions. But building affordable furniture wasn't as simple as lowering prices. The biggest problem wasn't manufacturing, it was transportation. Back in the 1950s, furniture was bulky, expensive to ship, and difficult to store. A single table could take up an enormous amount of space inside a truck. That meant fewer products per shipment, higher transportation costs, and ultimately, higher prices for customers. Ingvar knew that if he couldn't solve this problem, IKEA would never become truly affordable. Then, one ordinary day, something unexpected happened. An IKEA employee was preparing a wooden table for delivery. To make it fit inside a vehicle, he removed the legs before loading it. It was a simple decision, nothing revolutionary. But when Ingvar saw it, he immediately realized its potential. Instead of shipping furniture already assembled, why not let customers assemble it themselves? At first, the idea sounded ridiculous. Who would actually pay for furniture they had to build on their own? Wouldn't people see it as unfinished? Wouldn't they complain? Most companies would have dismissed the idea instantly. Ingvar embraced it. Engineers redesigned products so they could be packed into thin, flat boxes. Suddenly, everything changed. More products fit inside every truck. Warehouses became dramatically more efficient. Shipping costs dropped. Storage costs dropped. Damaged products became less common. And the savings could be passed directly to customers. It wasn't just a better logistics system. It completely reinvented the furniture business. But the real genius wasn't the flat box. It was what happened after customers got home. Psychologists later discovered something fascinating. People naturally place a higher value on things they help create, even when the final product is identical. If someone spends an hour assembling a bookshelf, they become emotionally attached to it. It feels more personal, more valuable, more meaningful. This phenomenon became so well known that researchers gave it a name, the IKEA Effect. Without realizing it, customers weren't just buying furniture. They were investing their own time and effort into it, and that effort made them love the product even more. Think about it. The screws, the instructions, the tiny wooden pegs, even the moments of frustration, they all became part of the ownership experience. What looked like customers doing free labor actually became one of IKEA's greatest competitive advantages. But Ingvar wasn't finished. If customers were already willing to assemble their own furniture, could they also be convinced to spend even more time inside the store itself? The answer would transform IKEA from a furniture retailer into a carefully engineered psychological experience. Walking into an IKEA store doesn't feel like entering a normal furniture shop, and that's entirely intentional. Most retailers want you to find what you're looking for as quickly as possible. IKEA wants the exact opposite. From the moment you enter, you're guided through a carefully designed path that takes you past living rooms, bedrooms, kitchens, offices, lighting, decorations, storage solutions, and countless products you never planned to buy. You aren't wandering. You're following a route that has been engineered using decades of consumer behavior research. Every turn has a purpose. Every shortcut is carefully controlled. Every room tells a story. Instead of displaying a sofa by itself, IKEA builds an entire apartment around it. The lighting, the rugs, the books, the plants, the coffee table, the artwork on the wall. You're no longer shopping for furniture. You're imagining a better version of your own home. And once people begin imagining, they begin buying. This strategy has a powerful psychological effect. Customers stop asking, "Do I need this chair?" Instead, they ask, "Why doesn't my home feel like this?" That small shift changes everything. Then come the small items: candles, picture frames, kitchen tools, blankets, storage boxes. Most of them cost only a few dollars. Individually, they seem insignificant. But after spending 2 hours walking through the store, adding another $5 item barely feels like spending money. By the time customers reach the checkout, their carts often contain dozens of products they never intended to purchase. And then, just when shoppers are getting tired, they smell fresh food. The famous IKEA restaurant isn't there by accident. It's another brilliant business decision. A hungry customer wants to leave. A customer who sits down for lunch relaxes, regains energy, and often continues shopping afterward. Even if the restaurant itself earns modest profits, it increases the total amount customers spend throughout the store. The iconic Swedish meatballs became more than a meal. They became part of the IKEA experience. Parents stay longer because children are happier. Couples spend more time browsing. Families turn shopping into a day out instead of a quick errand. The longer people stay, the more they buy. Every detail inside IKEA has been carefully designed to encourage exactly that. Nothing is random. Not the arrows on the floor, not the room layouts, not the restaurant, not even the massive warehouse where customers collect their own furniture before leaving. Each step removes costs for the company while making customers feel more involved in the experience. It was one of the smartest retail systems ever created. But despite its incredible success, IKEA was about to face a challenge that nearly stopped its global expansion. As IKEA continued expanding across Europe, not everyone celebrated its success. Traditional furniture manufacturers saw the company as a threat. IKEA's prices were far lower than the rest of the industry, and competitors feared they couldn't keep up. Some suppliers were pressured to stop working with IKEA altogether. For many businesses, that would have been the beginning of the end. For Ingvar Kamprad, it became another opportunity. Instead of depending on a few manufacturers, IKEA began building long-term partnerships with suppliers across different countries. The company invested heavily in improving production, simplifying designs, and finding smarter ways to reduce costs without sacrificing quality. Every product was questioned. Could it use less material? Could it be lighter? Could it be packed into an even smaller box? Could it be produced faster? Thousands of tiny improvements, repeated over decades, created an enormous competitive advantage. While other companies focused on selling expensive furniture, IKEA focused on removing every unnecessary cost from the entire system. And that's what made it so difficult to compete against. Today, IKEA operates hundreds of stores across the globe, serves hundreds of millions of customers every year, and has become one of the most recognizable retail brands in history. But perhaps its greatest achievement isn't measured in revenue, it's measured in influence. IKEA completely changed what people expected from furniture shopping. Before IKEA, customers expected companies to do everything for them. After IKEA, millions happily transported, carried, and assembled their own furniture. Not because they were forced to, but because the experience made sense. It saved money. It gave people more choices. And surprisingly, it made them appreciate what they built. The company didn't simply redesign furniture, it redesigned the entire business model. That's why IKEA isn't just a furniture company. It's one of the greatest examples of business innovation ever created. Its biggest breakthrough wasn't inventing a better chair. It was asking a better question. How can we deliver great design at a price almost anyone can afford? That single question built an empire. And maybe that's the biggest lesson every entrepreneur can learn. The companies that change the world aren't always the ones with the best products. They're often the ones that completely rethink the way those products are delivered. Because sometimes, the path to billions isn't about creating something new. It's about seeing an old problem from a completely different perspective. And IKEA did exactly that.